No recording. All right, let's hit submit.
And hey, this is Lowman here. I'm joining Cardboard Confrontation in a cross-channel battle of 93-94 format. We're going to be doing something. We both know what each other's playing right now. We don't know the exact builds, but we're both playing versions of the deck. So expect a bunch of counter spells, a bunch of card drawing, and just a miserable gaming experience if you're an active player. But I don't know. I enjoy it.
That's more interesting, right? You got to know what
I
to
think
counter.
so. This hand is actually very interesting from a lot of perspectives. It's going to run into some issues in one domain that I'm not going to completely say out loud because I'm playing against another pilot here. But it does have a fairly rapid start.
Mm-hmm. All right, give me. Wow, that's fast.
And go. Yeah, it's pretty aggressively fast start, but we'll see
Wow.
if it can get there.
Okie dokie.
I am down to 3 cards, and you're going to be drawing one, so we'll see. The other thing with the deck is like it doesn't really okay.
Mine wasn't as fast, but
No, it was not. Well, the likelihood of you having disenchant is decently high. I don't think you'd burn it off on any of that other stuff. You could have power sync. I don't know if you run it in that build. If you have it, cool.
no.
That was kind of the payoff for this hand. And if you have the disenchant, well, that sucks.
Well,
if you have it, I would probably use it there. I mean, you probably don't want to let me get one card off of it.
No, definitely not.
Okay, well, it looks like you probably don't have it if you're passing it. Well, we'll see.
Well,
another second main. You could do the second main trolls. It's like, oh, it's gonna stick. Nope, not gonna stick.
No disenchant.
All right, very solid draw for the turn in the form of a land. In the mirror matches, you tend to always, during at least these first couple turns, want to hit your land drops. Go ahead and James Day Tome here. I'm just going to do it on my turn. All right, mildly interesting. I just want to get my card out of it. If I did hit certain cards, like fast mana, I probably would. I want to do it there so I could play another certain card in my hand. All right, old T-Walk.
God, my hand's just crap. All right.
Well, the thing is, you could like strand. All right, that's actually very nice for me. You could strand a lot of cards in folks' hands in this game. So, like, if for instance, my opponent here had, just counter spells in hand, and I was able to get a James Day Tome down underneath the counter magic. It just kind of invalidates it. So this hand has become a metric beating, I want to say. That's the official word for it. So I've got Loa now. Loa's coming down. I'm going to draw. Just cards growing out of cards. This is kind of how these matches can become lopsided. All right, Black Lotus, and go. Do I want to attack this turn? Probably worth doing. Is there any reason not to attack? All right, Ancestral. Yeah, it's fine.
Sounds good.
There is a good reason not to attack here, and that's so I can leave up James Day Tome, plus leave up other options in my hand to destroy creatures or counter spells.
Correct.
He's kind of forced to play cards out right now because he drew on the end step there. I think there's an argument to countering the Ancestral Recall there for the viewership, but there's another argument to not doing that because at the end of the day, it's going to be about countering the relevant cards, not per se the capacity of cards, which is kind of how I'm looking at that. But that is obviously a little more debatable of an opinion. But because I'm drawing extra cards every turn, he's going to try to disenchant this right now, and then we're going to get into a fight over it. We'll go ahead and use this and say no thank you, sir. And he'll probably do the same thing again. Probably say no thank you, sir, again. Try to get me down on cards here. All right, he drew a lot of disenchants. Try to get me down on cards so I do not have library accessible because that's just going to continue to get worse and worse for him. Back up to 6, draw step 7. Which puts me back on the Loa plan, so I think I will do that here. Okay, it's an interesting draw. I think I'm just going to say go here. I do have an interesting course of action involving the second to last card on the right-hand side of my hand. That could be sizably disruptive, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. just see what happens here because he's down significantly on resources and I'm continuing to accrue them. And that tends to be kind of, I think, how you generally win these. All right, well, he found a Loa himself, but unfortunately, he's not in the position we are to continue to draw off of it. So
I need a book. Definitely need a book.
Yeah, well, books are what wins this game. That's what I was saying. Like, I played against some, like, versions of the European-style decks, and it's just crazy because they have, like, 4 tomes, and I'm like, God, that's so bad in, like, every matchup other than this one. Like, it's so bad. Like, I don't even like 2, but, I mean, it's obviously pretty decent here. I think we say okay to this. I'm going to let that happen. We do have options against it, but I don't think we need to exercise those currently. Well, there's another thing we could do. I'm going to play a land here. I'm going to cast this, and on the stack, I'm going to draw. Could save this for my opponent's turn. All right, I think here... There's a lot of interesting options here.
My hand is pretty crappy right now.
Well, I mean, I'm going to pretend I don't know that because I could go for one option where I just get rid of your entire hand. Could just demolish your hand. So, like, that's one of the sad things about this format is, like, sometimes games can become exceedingly lopsided. I think what I'm going to do instead is actually invest a little bit deeper. This is going to take me down on cards, so I don't need to discard at end step. And I'm just going to play this gentleman out right here. If it gets countered, I'm probably going to say okay to that. Well, I may fight it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you could have that.
Yeah, it's a slow grind as opposed to trying to go for the mind twist, which was the other option. But I wasn't going to be able to twist for the whole hand that turn, so it would have kind of been just the same as playing a Disrupting Scepter that I think will give me more long-term benefit. I think Swords to Plowshares can go to the bin. And now Mishra's Factory on the other side could be an issue, but we have a couple other answers in our hand for that kind of thing. Well, there we go. 2 ways that this could be played. I mean, my opponent could either hold lands at this point, or could continue to play them out, try to get back on the...
Lost you, man.
Say again?
I lost you for a second there.
Oh, did you? Yeah, Discord friggin' thing. I'm going to play out the artifact mana here. Draw. This is kind of the tyranny of...
I feel like you've drawn way too many cards right now.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, I'm kind of slow playing this. Not that one. Let's do the one that is Summoning Sick. I'm kind of doing the Constrictor lock right now. Like, when you get ahead like this, I think the worst thing you can do... So there's 2 ways you can play the deck mirror match. Is like you can either play it for tempo, because like this is like choosing who's the control and who's the beatdown in deck mirrors. I think is the biggest decision you always make. But I don't think I had to really make that decision because if you get to a position like this, I think I can just out control you and then eventually just use something random like a wooden shoe to win, i.e. Mishra's Factory. But I do think it's interesting. I put up a game I think historically where I basically decided to be the beatdown, and it worked very effectively because my opponent ended up just holding a bunch of counter spells, and I had like 2 or 3 factories, and they just, went all the way. All right, Strip Mine, cool. Well, Loa is probably going bye-bye. Yep.
Get out of there.
Loa is dead.
Loa is dead.
All
right.
So opponents at 3 cards. They are continuing to play cards out. So we probably want to just continue to hammer their hands. This is the slow grind of Disrupting Scepter.
Yep.
All right, what do we get? A City of Brass. Okay, well, I think it's a pretty safe assumption to guess they'd likely have like 1 counter spell and then like likely 1 Swords to Plowshares. I think at this point I'm pretty comfortable just playing out the mine here and firing up one of these bad boys. I'll trade them if they want to trade, and or I will suck down the Swords to Plowshares with it.
Oh, you're such a good guesser.
Was that pretty close? Yeah, we'll go ahead and gain some additional life here. If they want to swing back with their factory, I think I'm okay with that. No, it's like if you have 3 cards in your hand, you're not going to leave them in there if you can actually them with a Disrupting Scepter, just like knocking away cards every turn. So I think it's probably likely you have either Mana Drain or a Counter Spell, and then, well, we'll see here. Do we want this to happen? Well, if our assumption is correct, they do have a counter spell in hand, but I think we'll force them to show it to us. And at that point, their hand is empty anyways, so, that's fine. Yep. All right, there's the counter spell, so we kind of knew it. And they have one disenchant left, I think. No, none. They've drawn all their disenchants. Alrighty, well, now that we have their hand depleted, they're not going to attack here, which is fine. I mean, I probably have a Swords to Plowshares, as he can assume as well. There's two ways we can go now. We can either get back every single sweet card that we have in our graveyard with this recall, or we can Brain Geyser for a bazillion cards. I think what I like here, actually, is probably just recalling to get rid of nonsense. And we'll tap one more land, and I think I'll do this for a bazillion. For 3. Approximately a bazillion. Just dumb. Balance is not going to be useful in this matchup. Strip Mine can go the way of the Yarg, so I'm going to pick up a Loa, I think, as well, and then one STP. I believe we take James Day Tome, Demonic Tutor? Possibly. Probably James Day Tome, Demonic Tutor. I want Disrupting Scepter is kind of the question. Maybe what we do is, because we just outdraw my opponent, is just take Disrupting Scepter, Tome, and Loa. Play out Loa here, and we'll take some damages, and if they want to attack, great. But now if they draw any counter magic, we can just hammer it with the Disrupting Scepter, and then play on our book on the next turn, and then get the Rod book lock. Kind of what this deck wants to do in the mirror, or one of the ways in the mirror it wants to win.
All I need is a Mind Twist now. Mind Twist.
Yeah, that would be pretty decent. I don't know if you draw a Mind Twist, that'd be good here, but I don't think it actually ends the game. I think it just means I have to go back to the top of my deck and try to do some nonsense.
Yep. Not a Mind
All
Twist.
right. No. All right. So let's get rid of the counter spell or the Swords to Plowshares or whatever he drew here.
How lucky.
Yep, a counter spell. Yeah, I mean, so what's going to happen here is your power of divination is going to become a lot better the further into these games you get, because if you have a Disrupting Scepter, you can pretty much tell in the mirror match what if they kept it in hand. It's not a land if they haven't already played one, and it's definitely not something they can actively do. Alrighty, so you go at it. Okay, another Factory. Alrighty. So going the way of the beatdown. This card is likely not getting any better. They're going to take the opportunity, likely to go up to 23 life here. And that is cool. Okay, no cards in hand. I think what we'll do right now. I could make it a goal to Brain Geyser my opponent out. That may be a little ambitious, though. We'll tap this fellow. All right, 5.
Should have Brain Geysered me.
2. Yes. Let's make this a game.
Yeah.
Kidding. Let's stop this beatdown. All right, so yeah, I could have actually drawn with the library there, but I want to leave 2 cards open in my hands, so I'm not gonna. I played the land out, so I could do that. Find another factory, so 2 factories in a row. One of them permanently out of their deck. All right.
All right. Let's go farming, Factory.
Actually, I am not prepared to send him farming, but I am prepared to send him the way of the disenchant.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Much rather use your disenchants on those than my James Day Tomes.
Yeah, I was kind of timorous to do it, but what are you gonna do? I think you got to get rid of them eventually. So I'll use a Strip Mine. I guess I could leave up my Strip Mine as opposed to using it as my colorless mana source of choice. But yeah, what can you do? All right, I'm gonna get this Gentleman down, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'll allow them to attack here, I think. I'm going to do this. I'm going to play this out just so if I have to Time Twister or my opponent finds a way to regrowth their Time Twister, I have one less Disrupting Scepter in my deck. I just don't want to have that card in my deck whatsoever. All right, a Strip Mine of their own. And, all right. Alrighty. Get rid of my cheapest card drawing engine. I'll go ahead and Ancestral here. This is just kind of becoming an embarrassment of riches at this point. It really is. It's like gross.
Yep.
All right, so we're just gonna start playing out nonsense and things and stuff. Mistress Factories. 20 cards left in deck. I mean, why not? Oh, that card? Cool. All right, well, I think what I'm going to do here is go ahead and copy artifact on a James Day Tome. I'm going to strip mine your factory.
Yep.
And I guess I'm going to forego a little bit of damage and use this Gentleman to activate this other Gentleman. Hopefully not activate the Summoning Sick one and get him for a little bit of damage here. That allows me to leave up a couple options in my hand.
Yep. This is oh wow.
This is the kind of classic lock. All right, Soul Ring, yeah. I mean, like once one player gets ahead in the deck mirror matches, like this, it's very difficult to break that. Like the get back from behind cards are cards like Balance, but you know, after sideboarding, my assumption would be you'll probably have some number of Return to Dust. Or Dust to Dust, I'm sorry. Return to Dust is like the bad commander version of the card. There's another James Day Tome, why not?
Alright.
These matchups can become goofy, though. Alright, I'll 6 you. I guess that's technically not a 3-turn clock. I have to work on that. I do have one more factory somewhere in the deck. So hopefully we can find that or my Miser's Fireball somewhere.
Absolutely. Oh, wow.
All right, get in there, little 2/2s. This deck is so hilarious, though, man. Like the one thing that's kind of cool to me is like how elegant it is. Like, you know, it has no really cool ways to win. It just like beats down with a crappy 2/2 man land, which I guess is not crappy. It's pretty ubiquitous to the format. But that or like just a rando Fireball or a Seer Angel or some shit. It's great. Okay, Time Walk. All right, Explore online. I'm cool with that. Go ahead.
Not gonna do anything with it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe you could draw the Mind Twist, assuming I don't have interaction in my hand, which is probably not the best of assumptions. All right, so I'm pretty sure we've got a Swords to Plowshares draw right now. Or he could just be trying to tie up my mana, which seems marginal. No offense, but it probably would be because I just have so much at this point. It's just a ridiculous amount of mana. All right, we'll just do this. We'll get rid of your Swords to Plowshares or your other counter spell. Could be Drain. Drain? Nope. Okay, it's a fast effect. A Lightning Bolt. All right, take it.
Kills those factories.
It does. It does. Got to get it out of the way. 3 mana well spent. All right, let me count my mana up.
Enough to fireball me.
It's pretty close. So that's the one easy thing about math in this deck is one factory activation counts the same as one fireball. It is essentially 2 mana to do 2 damage. That is correct. I did draw into the fireball. So this puts my opponent down to 7. And I'm unfortunately 2 mana short of killing them this turn. So we're just going to get in there, leave up interaction. Do I have a Time Walk in my yard? No, I do not. There are no more Lightning Bolts because I retuned this list right beforehand to be played in the under the EC rules, so it has 3 strip mines as opposed to 1 for European rules. Alrighty. And the coup de grace comes with an old school fireball, which I did find the cool old art for on MTGO, which is pretty sweet. Is that 5? All right. There you go. There is a ball of fire. Do the MTGO dance of clicking all this silly mana, and boom. Okay. All right, off to sideboarding. So, I think these right here are going to be pretty decent. I think we still want to keep the numbers of these up. This card right here is not the most optimal for this matchup. I also probably want some number of these. I think we can go down on one of these. And it's possible we can chop this gentleman out. I'm really not that high on this card right here either for this specific matchup. Probably want one more. This card's always close because like a lot of their important spells are white as well. So Reb sometimes doesn't do exactly what you want it to do. It's possible we want to cut one of these as well. Got a decent bit of mana. Mana advantage is going to be important though.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, man, of course.
I'm back.
Hey, brother, give me like 1 minute. I gotta run to the car. I think I'll have my.
Yep.
I'll be right
problem.
back.
Wow.
Same nonsense.
No problem. All right.
All right, man. I'm back, brother.
All right. Sounds good. So, I've got a better hand.
This hand's interesting, but I think it's a mulligan. Okay, I'm gonna keep this fiver.
All right.
Probably top that. And say go.
All right. Let's rock and roll with this hand.
Okay, the old Ring of Saul. So, some Moxon. You have Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I wish I did.
Okay, James A. Tome. All right, what am I at? I'm at 12 minutes right now. It's possible with this hand I just want to go ahead and pack it in and go to the game 3 for time. We'll see what's up.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all you got? All right. You
Well, mulligan to 5's generally a little rough.
Yeah, they are.
But at least it doesn't die to a single strip mine, unless you draw numerous of them.
That's for sure. Well, activated too much.
Alrighty, so I think again we'll just play this and say go.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
factory. Probably leave up the Mock Sapphire and the Sea. Yep, he's going to at least feign counter magic if he has it, which he probably does by this point. Okay, go.
okie dokie.
Another factory. Okay. A lot of artifact mana here.
Absolutely. There's a ton.
You see a Mind Twist. All right, this thing. You want to activate the newly controlled one too?
No.
No, thanks.
Not right now. Maybe later.
All right, so he can counter this if he likes. I don't think I care that much. All right, he's going to draw first. Losing out on 1 life.
Yeah.
And if he counters this and I have Disenchant, then I probably will have entrapped him a little bit. Just not counter it. Sounds good.
Got some insurance there?
Say again?
You have some insurance there?
Some insurance? I may. We shall see. All right, so unfortunately we did not get to limit him on blue mana production. You go for a draw. Cool. So one of the interesting things is he probably only runs a Fireball, maybe like a Seer Angel in from the sideboard to win. So if we can get rid of all of his factories, we could possibly win that way by just eliminating all of his threats. We'll see, though. If it's an Ancestral Recall, I don't really care that much. We're going to disenchant that. That's cool.
Wow. All right. Let's keep this going. No counter magic.
Well, or I didn't want to counter that. So I think from this position, it's actually best for me only to counter things that are actually going to win you the game. That's just my take on it. I could be wrong on that.
Yep,
that's fine. Not going to counter that. that will eventually win you the game, but it's going to take a long time.
Only 6 more lightning bolts, you know.
Yeah, you got to time twister a bunch, and if you time twister, then you put me into 7 as well. Okay. The one good thing is my opponent Jordan here can only produce 1 black mana a turn, so if he got Mind Twist, he's not casting it this turn.
I wish I did.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and pitch this out for counter magic.
Good choice.
Which I assume it probably will. Okay. Because that will make it so we can't possibly win the game. It doesn't per se win him the game, but it does make it very impossible for us to win. So what are our best draws? Well, that's not a bad one. And luckily for us, it cannot be countered by what he's showing, unless he has Force Spike. Force Spike would be about it. So we'll get rid of that. I think it's actually more relevant to get rid of the Disrupting Scepter here because I think it actually is more important for locking us out than him just drawing cards. Now, both are going to beat us, so, depending on what they find or what Jordan finds here. Okay, totem activation.
No, it's good.
Well, if it's a Mind Twist, then I suppose I lose my hand, but at least I can still build it back up. All right, we're getting hit here. Mind Twist is still being shown, so my assumption is we're probably getting twisted.
I wish it was. 1, 2, 3. No, not this turn.
All right. Oh, cool. A factory. Go. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, if we can get a counter spell with this, that's sweet. Nope. Okay, well that's another threat out of my opponent's deck. Likely has 2 more of them. Seer Angel or something. Or it's a Geyser. The Geyserino.
That's weird. I hate Moto.
Did you get the targeting process? I'm assuming it's Geyser. You gotta point it at yourself. Oh, it's recall. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so he'll get what here? Ancestral, Time Walk, and Demonic Tutor probably. Possibly. He'll be my guess. All right, Disenchant Island, only 2. Okay. So Ancestral and Time Walk, I assume then. Yeah, I think Time Walk's probably better right now than DT is, just slightly. So having the J-Tome on the board, right up to 5 cards. We've already played a land this turn, so we should not see another factory coming down at a minimum. All right. Be curious to see how many lightning bolts you're playing as well. My guess would be probably 2, 1 to 2. Or do you go up to 3?
I'm not that exciting.
No?
No.
Do full 4? All 4 lightning bolts? just go.
My
go
paper deck
with
has
them.
3, I think.
So it depends on the meta, man. It's actually a very, very strong. I mean, it's a great control card as well as aggro card. But it just depends on the meta. Like STP is obviously kind of king, but Bolt is no joke as far as removal either, and it does help end games. All right, pulling up to 3 cards. We have to assume probably 2 counter spells, but they haven't found business yet to actually kill us with.
No fireballs yet.
I would be happy with just a land. All right, we're going to throw this out there and allow them to disenchant it. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah,
You have it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have it, but I actually would like to do it to protect my Mistress Factories, because the way I actually win this game is by out-tempoing you with the factories. I think that's the only way I probably can. It's going to be very difficult to get back from this position. I mean, there are certainly draws like Ancestral into like Lotus, into like Recall. All right, Moat stops factories pretty well. Well,
yeah.
It's only a disenchant away, but it stops his factories too, which belies the question: how does he win now?
Yeah, cycle burn.
Yeah, but eventually that may require a Time Twister, which would probably be okay for me. All right, you go at it.
As long as I have more mana than you, I can.
Yeah, generally you can safely do it. I'm going to attempt to do this here.
Alright, Time Twister.
Yeah, more mana is generally going to be the key. Did you find it? Nice.
Definitely not.
All right. Well, here you go. All right, Loa. Cool. That was actually a really great draw. So what I'm going to end up doing here is just disenchanting the Moat.
Yep.
And not going to attack this turn. I'm just going to hang out to interact with whatever my opponent may be up to. And we've gotten their card engine offline. They have a vast mana advantage, but we do have the only threats on the board. The chances of them having answers to our threats are very high, but that is what it is. And it also means that any fireball they draw is a little less lethal, so it just buys time. I think here we're actually just going to continue to build up our own mana advantage and tap our 2 factories. I mean, eventually we're going to have to run him into the STPs that he is likely holding, because I probably kept 2 to 3 in. I normally keep 3 in for this matchup because the factories are kind of relevant, and sometimes folks will do crazy stuff like bring in a Seer Angel or something. All right, it's time to send in one of these gentlemen, or gentlemen, rather. I guess they are plural. They're soon to be singular, though, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Alrighty. Just going to bump this gentleman up a little bit, give myself a little bit extra life, and Jordan actually made a small play error in doing it before I turned him sideways, so I can gain 2 additional life up to 19. It's a big game, I know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. All right, we're going to take another turn off here and just play out the Felwar Stone. Basically, like Jordan mentioned, the game now is fairly open. He's trying to get into Library of Alexandria range right now. He's at 6 cards, which means I'm probably going to have to force some sort of action out of him, which I think I'm going to be able to do next turn, because we have one decent card in our hand. Land drop would be good here. All right, that was solid. So what we're going to end up doing here is this. There is some argument to have not playing or not having tried to play the land. Oop, cancel. All right, we're going for a 3-card Brain Geyser. All right, and your go at it, my man. The card engine will soon be online. She'll be online next turn. Alrighty. This game's actually gone a lot longer than one would expect, given Jordan's pretty fast start in it. I don't think it's actually an unwinnable matchup either. All right, this looks like something big. All right, a Mind Twist. Well, I'm going to throw a counter spell out there and probably get countered. Nope. Okay. Well, that leads one to believe that Jordan does not have a counter spell, because I think you protect that with a counter just because it's so powerful. So what we're going to end up doing here is we are going to cast a twist of our own and hope it resolves. And possibly back it up with a red elemental blast off of the Rainbow Land. So, get twisted.
I wish I had a counter for your first
Yeah,
one.
I think you would have protected the twist, so I almost think it may have been better to just hold the twist, throw the bolt. All right, a bunch of random things and stuff.
My hand was not very spectacular anyways.
Yeah. Well, I kind of tell because you're building up to the library. I'm pretty sure there's a sideboarding issue because I think I took the card that you just discarded out, and I'm pretty sure I have it in my hand right now.
Yep.
I could have swore I took it out. All right, no attack, so it's the James Day Tome. No, okay, there's the attack post main.
Yep.
All right, so... All right, this is interesting. So I think what I'm going to do here is this. Okay, done.
What are you going to get?
Counterspell is likely in hand right now because he did nothing with his turn except for activate post-combat. All right, Counterspell is the draw that we kind of estimated, but luckily we have one of our own. And we'll go ahead and get this and likely get back the James Day Tome, and these two can go to the trash. They're not that great. Probably James Day Tome plus Ancestral, and say go. So even if there are some pretty oppressive starts, I think you can play your way out of something. I'm not saying we're winning this, but I think honestly we've definitely mounted a pretty fine comeback, and I don't know what you think of that, Jordan, if that's true or not.
Absolutely. Like, there's obviously cards that I think I didn't hit the submit button, so I definitely.
No, same here. Like, I definitely took the Abyss out and put in some number of 3 mana destroy 2 exile packs. So I don't know what happened with that. I must have screwed up.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I actually should have played my land there. I should have seen if I could find Strip Mine. I guess I don't need to really deal with it yet. All right, Counterspell. That's actually fine by me. I think I'm comfortable with that. Now, I'm at a pretty low life total, so I probably want to leave up one of the 2 factories. I'm going to get the Tome down, though. I think the Tome long-term is going to be more important than Ancestral. I actually think Jordan probably wanted to leave counter up for James Day Tome. But I don't know. Depends on what he draws. If he just draws, if he just rips the one of the disenchants, that would be savage.
And that would
I guess there's only one left in the deck.
Yeah.
There's only one unless you have the 3 mana exile nonsense. Do 2 of them. Oh, well, that's not bad. But I think what I'm going to do here is just fire this thing off.
You should tap your cities.
I should, right? Because if you have Fireball, I just get like blown out utterly.
Yep.
So do you have enough to kill me with Fireball right now? You're very close if you're not already there. The question is, do I have a counterspell at this point?
That is the question.
I've used up how many? 2. I've used up 3 of mine. So Scepter.
Yep. Well, keep on tapping those cities.
I actually am here. I actually do need to hit some more mana, but I am going to knock out your hand. Probably, what? Swords of Plowshares? Nope, just a City of Brass. Okay.
All right.
You top it? That's true. You are at 16 cards left, so your chances of topping it are decently high at this point. Unless you sideboarded it out.
Outside of that or a Twister, so.
That's true. Twister, I don't think I would mind from this position. I guess you are a little up on mana.
I am up on mana, and I have Lightning Bolts and stuff, so.
True. Are you running 4 of them?
Or
3?
Just a couple.
Just a couple? 2 of them, so they're in the graveyard?
Nice.
We'll see. We will see. All right, he's going to pump his factory with his other factory. And I'm going to pump my factory, with itself, and we will trade factories.
Yep.
Which is probably good for him.
Got to keep you lower on mana so you tap your City of Brasses.
Correct. And hopefully we can draw some non-City of Brasses here. Okay, well, that was a very solid pickup. Just tap this gentleman right here. And we will go for a card. Find a land. Nice. I think I'm just going to leave back a blocker. I'm not going to hit that card out of his hand. It may be a counter spell, but he didn't play it, so, it's probably not the Fireball. And if it is, well, I've got plenty of mana that I don't need to take damage off of tapping to counter. That is what I deem to do. Okay, well, there's more mana. I am going to go ahead and draw here, I think. Yeah, we'll just draw here. See what's going to happen. Okay. Well, I think I'm just going to say go, or do I want a Scepter here? I could probably get away with taking one off a city if I do need to counter something. So I suppose I will go ahead and Scepter here, knock on card. And what do we get? A land? An Underground Sea. Well, the good thing about him holding lands is, I mean, he's inflating his from the Disrupting Scepter. However, at the same time, he's also making any prospective Time Twister a little bit weaker for himself because he'll have more lands in his deck. And we're getting to a point now where we're actually getting close to mana parity again. All right, mana was likely drawn for the turn. I don't know what you think on that. Do you think it's better to hold them if I have a Scepter in play or to ditch them?
Then you're just relying on Time Twister to actually be something, right?
Correct. So this is actually an interesting draw.
Because
I
you're
think
not
what we're
gonna
gonna do is
you're not gonna Time Twister at all, right?
Me likely no, but I mean I could. Like if I use up like another counter spell, it's probably better to increase the density of counters in my deck.
It's gonna be basically your reset button, and that's what you're gonna be using it for.
Correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow up the Soul Ring here, because that's gonna reduce his mana count and also deaden. And the question is, no, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to leave up my mana as opposed to sceptering the last card. I don't think the last card is going to be that relevant. I think it's probably an interactive spell. All right. Well, he drew another reactive spell.
Huh.
Is that?
Just
Go ahead and hammer your hands.
sure.
Okay, the old Fell War Stone.
I love my rocks.
I took one Fell War Stone out. I may actually time in this one.
That's okay. It'll be a draw.
Well, I am at 6 cards, so I suppose I'll just do this. All right, draw. I kind of want to make a land drop right now. That is basically a land drop. Alrighty, well, I think we do go for... Oh, nope, not that one. This one. Go ahead and discard a card. There you go.
You got it.
Oh, counterspell, okay. Okay, strip my Reno. Probably hitting the factory or the... Okay, the factory. Cool. It is dead.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Hopefully you don't have a removal spell for my factory.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it farming.
Unfortunately, by this point, I do have some... I do have a quality trade school in farming here for you that I'm offering. We're going to see a counterspell. That is cool. I have a lot of farm tools. Got a lot of plows hanging around here, you know.
It also takes you off of libraries, so.
It does, but I do have the J-Tome.
Yeah.
So if I want to spend mana that way.
Then you're gonna have to main phase it to actually make it worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think I want to right now. I think what I want to do is just pass it and say go.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, let's see how many.
I think this is going to come down to an interesting axis on which one of us either wins or loses. Okay, well, it looks like the fireball has been drawn. Or the brain guys are targeting yourself. I think All right, I gotta actually count your cards in yard. Counterspell, 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 mana drain, counterspell. Yep, that's fine. Have it. Yep. Yep.
What a shitty brain geyser.
You actually don't have a lot of gas left in your deck. You really have like one card that I'm kind of concerned about. That's fine. This is actually going to be a sweet game. Like, I'm going to love how this game ends, I think. Like, I'm really kind of actually excited here. All right.
Well, you started off pretty rough there, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was not a great start. I want to draw a card here. No, probably not. Let's do this first. I'm going to play this out. I'm going to go regrowth on the geyser. It may work. I mean, unless you brought in Rebs. Like, and you just have a shitload of Rebs sitting in your deck right now.
I think we both missed the submit button here, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Actually, I think you're right. I don't know what happened there, man. So we're gonna force you to draw some cardage, namely 5 cards. Or you want to draw 4?
I'll draw 4.
Just to see. All right, there's 5. So is this gonna mill you? It's gonna work. All right, that was actually a really sick game, man. Like, I enjoyed that. I'm gonna take a quick break, brother. If you don't mind pausing it for a second, I gotta use the restroom, and then we can jump into some other nonsense that's not the deck mirrors.
Absolutely.
Good game though, man. That was a cool game.
Good game.
All right.